Money makes people really greedy.
I'm sorry, but I can't spend $35 on a toddler jacket.
Telling me like a turkey sandwich today? No, I don't. It was just the only thing I could stomach while in here. Now that I have access to more options. Let me tell you, them hospital turkey sandwiches, it hits different.
Now I know the first thought is to be like, oh, so she did a rage bait. No, actually what I did this for was to see how many people are following us waiting for our downfall.
A lot of people are obsessed with me.
Family content has been on the rise for years, but there's recently been an uptick in parents who have been exposing themselves constantly on social media. Most recently, a lot of these parents end up on TikTok, but it's also on YouTube, Instagram, and any other social media platform. Over the past few months, there's been quite a few families that have gained a lot of attention on social media, such as a family known as the Resilient Jenkins, an influencer known as Nurse Hannah. By the way, I've covered both of these topics in previous videos, and another one known as Ash or Ashley Trevino, who I will soon be releasing a deep dive on. All of these creators have something in common, which is that they are very controversial and have recorded and live streamed videos of themselves making very poor choices that ultimately affect their children in a negative way. While towards the end of this video, I do have some updates regarding the Resilient Jenkins and Nurse Hannah. Today, I want to take a look at another influencer who now falls into the category of the family influencer crowd, who goes by the name of Allie on TikTok, or at least did before deleting her account.
It's okay, baby. These people are losers.
Another family influencer is competing to be the worst parent on TikTok, and maybe even online in general. A woman has gone viral on TikTok for unplugging her premature baby's monitor while in the NICU. Why did she do it? So the nurses could come in and bring her a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, it's for patients. I don't really know if I'm supposed to be eating them, but nobody said anything.
I'm not even surprised anymore. You won't be either when I say somehow all of this gets worse.
I'm sorry. At this point, I can't help but laugh.
Do this.
If I have haters and I'm having fan pages made about me, I'm doing something right.
Hi, before we continue, I want to check in and say that I hope you are all doing well.
Hope you're keeping well, friend.
I wanted to add in here that this video is a re-upload, but I have added new information and some updates regarding previous topics. So for those of you who have seen the previous video, there is still something new for you to see in this version. And for those of you who missed it the last time I uploaded, buckle up, you're in for a wild ride. If you aren't aware, family vloggers are not new or exclusive to TikTok. It's on every form of social media, and due to the nature of this niche, it's one of the most advertiser and brand-friendly avenues for new content creators. On top of that, there is a high demand for family-styled content online. It's really not that surprising if you think about it. For example, many popular TV shows have revolved around family themes since way before the age of social media. And with the rise of family vlogging over the years, the audience is not only able to feel a deeper sense of relatability to what they are watching, because to them what they are seeing is real and not a TV show, but it also allows engagement and parasocial behaviors with the family content that they consume. But unlike child actors on a TV show, children who are often born into this lifestyle do not have many laws protecting them from being taken advantage of, usually by their parents. Oftentimes, the only thing providing any help at all to those who need it is when something horrible happens in a video, making the video go viral and sparking outrage. Which is really sad, because in order for people to see how some of these influencers treat their children, something terrible has to be caught on camera and missed to upload, or the influencer has to be dumb enough to think that what they're doing is okay and post it online for hundreds, thousands, if not millions to see. This is exactly what has happened once again with Allie, another family TikToker who seemingly went through an entire pregnancy and birth not for the love of her child, but for the attention it could potentially bring her online. Like I had mentioned, she had gone viral before this poor baby even made it home by risking her life over a turkey sandwich.
Well, so they keep turkey sandwiches actually in the fridge out here. I just don't want to put her up. She'll get upset. I like staying in her mom's arms. I actually could do this. Look at that. Hello, look at that. Do this. No, you're fine. It's not an emergency.
Oh.
I just was gonna see if you could bring me a turkey sandwich.
this isn't a one-time occurrence. She did this multiple times.
They made it up. I didn't say they made that up. Yes, if you need something, they tell you to unplug this. We'll do it right now. Oh, tangled up, girl. I'm really tangled. Let's wait for it. Because I do need my drinks. You know, if I need something. What is she gonna do? Unplug this herself? What the hell?
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. As always, let's take a few steps back and see how we got here. If you couldn't get an idea by the length of this video, there's much more to dive into than just these clips alone. Allie Ray is a TikToker from Texas who used to spend hours and hours live streaming all the way up until she recently deleted her account. During these extremely long live streams, she would share a lot of really personal information about herself to anybody who would watch. And I mean really personal information. Information that nobody needs to know about or asked for.
I think I'm definitely gonna do that. Be a little more private. But I really do like sharing my life with you guys. Despite all the hate really doesn't get to me. It really doesn't bother me because, again, it's all lies.
Since deleting her account, there have been quite a few people on TikTok archiving some of the wild moments from her previous live streams. One TikTok account that has reposted tons of videos that I will be referencing today goes by Connie Artist. Though the sad thing is that due to gaining so much attention so fast, this account was almost banned from people reporting it. This is because people thought that this was actually Allie Ray's account when it is just an account that archives other videos from other TikTokers. They've had to go out of their way to clarify that they are not Allie Ray and that the people reporting them are reporting them under the assumption that this is Allie Ray when they are just archiving her videos and streams because she had deleted her account and all of the evidence on it. There's also another account known as Dog Digital who has also archived a lot of Allie's content that has since been deleted. So again, I want to clarify that this is not her account, this is just an account that archives TikToks. There are other YouTubers who have talked about this topic that I will link in the description below, but when it comes to the mass amount of archived posts, this is the main source that you will be able to find tons of information regarding Allie on and tons of things that she had posted before deleting her account. Which gets into my next point. Allie Ray has an interesting reputation on the internet. You may have heard of another infamous TikTok mom known as Ash Trevino.
It's crazy because everybody like hates on Ash Trevino, but she makes like over $1,000 a day. It's the only thing. What the heck? And like everybody hates on her. I'm like, why can't that be me?
So I haven't talked about this creator on my channel yet. I do plan on doing a video in the future, but there is an influencer known as Ash Trevino, and she is well known, one of the things she's well known for at least, is being an inmate hopper, where she would constantly get into relationships with men in prison, and there's a whole chapter about this on her online saga. But when it comes to Allie Ray, it seems like she just has one relationship, or had one relationship with someone who was in prison, but now they're out of prison. But she did mention Ash Trevino, and in a weird way, at least from my perspective, it sounded like she was trying to be like her. From this clip, at least. Allie posted TikToks talking about being a sugar baby at one point.
Oh, I forgot. I guess I'm, what am I? Sugar baby. I don't know about y'all, but no man's giving me money in a hot second. Wait, no, you are here flexing with TikTok paying your rent. No, baby. You misunderstood, Stay Low. You misunderstood. I'm flexing about men paying me to go on dates. Okay? You're misunderstanding, okay? I'm flexing about men paying me to go on dates with them. Not TikTok. Not TikTok.
Which in and of itself isn't that big of a deal, to each their own, as long as all parties consent, that's what matters. What I don't understand though is that she compared it to married women relying on their husbands as providers.
I don't have to be so dependent on TikTok anymore now that I have these men paying my bills. It's no different than your guys' husbands, right? No different.
As a married woman myself, and as somebody who is friends with many married couples, I know some people who are stay-at-home moms, and then there are other people who work just as much as their husbands. If somebody is a stay-at-home mom and is happy with that, more power to them. If somebody is working, more power to them. The way I'm seeing it is that she somehow sees it wrong herself, whether that be because she's getting hate comments for it or because she's insecure about it, whatever it may be, that's a choice she made. As long as it's not hurting anybody, as long as it's not putting herself or anybody else in danger, that's her decision to make. I'm not judging her for that, but I think that there's some sort of deep-rooted insecurity and maybe even resentment she has towards people who are married and in relationships and might have a partner helping, if not fully providing for them. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm just finding it hard to understand where she's coming from and why she's throwing married people under the bus. It's just weird. She mentioned that she was in a relationship with a man named Jojo who was at the time in prison. Now the thing is, if this man has been in prison, how did she have this baby? Things get a bit more complicated. It seems that at some point, Allie ended her relationship with Jojo and started dating a 19-year-old named Matt. She would constantly go live on TikTok and share extremely personal information. This includes going live right after they were trying to conceive a child. And I mean right after. She would express unnecessary details about this, such as telling her viewers that she was holding her legs up while streaming to increase the chances of becoming pregnant.
Here we go, baby. Yeah. Legs are in the air. Misha, did you get busy? Yeah, we're gonna go shop in a minute. Once I can put my legs down.
Can't you at least wait until all of that is over with to go live? That is insane. Allie would also stream while arguing with Matt.
I mean that you're still putting my personal life out there, and I've told you over and over, can you stop doing that?
How? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, if it's not something I'm saying or showing the internet, I don't want my life out there like.
What are you talking about?
You just said that I don't even care, like, it's not even something I'm worried about, it's just something like, you're still putting my life out there.
How?
You're showing your lot of my life.
I am not showing it.
I've just seen a lot of. In the comments, I'll read everything. I've been hearing what you're saying. I'm not going for that. Quit doing that.
You also gotta realize if you're a big person on TikTok and that's how you make money, that's how you show your life.
My respect.
Okay, the difference is, you know, he actually graduated and he's 19.
Yeah, like that's the only thing that was shown off is that
he knows that you share your life on TikTok and he is with you, and that's how you make money. Then he's a part of it.
Huh? Right. He signed up for this. He already signed up for this.
Yep.
He has. You know she's on TikTok. This is how she makes her money. You co-signed to this though. Like that's the thing. It's like you're a part of it now.
Right. The money supporting both of them, right? Okay.
Exactly. She just paid the rent with the money from this place. Like that's how she pays her bills.
It's like going to the movies, she's entertainment or something else. People make money, they share their life. That's how they pay their bills. So that means all of their life.
What are you talking about?
Privacy. Respect me as an individual, as your boyfriend, the person you're supposed to.
What about respecting me?
Respect me on what?
Honesty?
What?
You saw the live. You obviously know everything that's going on, right?
I mean, not everything, because I was in the interview and I'm considering my shit blowing up.
This is such a common thought process that I see with so many family vloggers that happen to also be problematic, and I absolutely despise this mentality. Unless there is some sort of business agreement or something along those lines where your partner is taking on roles, this may be your job, but that does not give you the entitlement to be filming other people that you live with or that you're in a relationship with and spilling all of their private information onto the internet because you are a public figure. This is an invasion of privacy, and if somebody doesn't want to be recorded, you should respect that. But the thing is, Allie doesn't. She doesn't respect that at all. And neither do the people in this video who seem to be enabling her and defending her by saying that he should have these expectations because it's your job. No, that is not how that works. But it doesn't seem like Allie has any respect for anybody. There's also a lot of speculation that Allie had actually left him for Jojo.
You're not 100% sure. I think if I was Matthew, that would kind of bother me too, because what if it creates another spark when you talk to Jojo, or you think,
and that's like you're hoping that that's what happened in a way.
No, that's not what I'm hoping.
But you're going into that thinking that like this might possibly happen.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be the complete opposite. I think I'm gonna get an ick.
If you would think that, you'd be more pissed off at him every time he calls, but you're not.
I don't answer his calls.
But the ones you have, you openly and you actively have conversation with him. You laugh at the phone, you joke, and you giggle at the phone with him like you're not.
Because he's dumb and says stupid shit.
You're okay,
but the thing is, I'm used to, like, I joke around a lot, okay? You know this. I'm very sarcastic. You don't. Anytime I try to joke around with you...
Anything remotely with a relationship, I feel like you should take it serious, as in, like, hey, this is my ex. I know I love the guy still because it's freshly new, but I shouldn't... be sitting here joking with him and acting like it's all fun and games in front of my boyfriend that I recently just fell in love with and that's trying to plan a family with. That makes me feel like you're half-ass taking me serious, like you're wanting it both ways. You can't sit on top of the fence. You're on right side or left side, you know?
This just scares me a little bit because you're trying to maybe plan a family with Matthew.
It scares
and
me.
then, yes, and then we have JoJo.
Now, this might be a shock to you, but somehow this relationship didn't work out too well and they resulted in breaking up. Allie then got back together with her ex-boyfriend JoJo, who eventually got out of prison and was taking pregnancy pictures with her. I tried my best to research what he was in prison for, but as of right now, I cannot confirm with certainty what his crimes were. Allie did talk about this a little bit in one TikTok, but it's hard to take her as a legitimate source because she constantly seems to contradict herself.
They're gonna be like, she has a felon around her child. Okay, do you know his charges? Yeah, I do. A burglary. Was it armed burglary? No, just burglary. Okay, does he have any, like, child-related crimes? Is he on the registry? No, he's not. They're probably just gonna hang up on it.
Many people have expressed concern about the safety of her daughter, though.
Are you really letting a man fresh out of the pen live with you and your newborn girl? Oh my gosh.
But it doesn't really seem that Allie cared much for her daughter's safety to begin with. Obviously, as you've seen in the beginning of this video, but there's even more information to make me believe this.
A lot of people are obsessed with me. They either want to be me or eat my cookie. I don't know which one yet.
Allie made one TikTok where she jokingly instructed people on how to break their water by using raspberry leaf tea.
Hey guys, if you want to break your own water, let me show you how. This is how you break your own water, okay? There you go. You're welcome.
Maybe I'm missing the punchline, but I don't see how this is a joke. But that's just my opinion. Looking this up online, it seems that evidence is unclear that raspberry leaf tea could actually induce labor, but there are many people who do believe that drinking raspberry leaf tea can cause contractions and possibly induce labor. And even though research points to the evidence being inconclusive on whether or not it could possibly induce contractions and labor, why make a TikTok showing your audience how to induce labor with raspberry leaf tea as a potential joke for any reason at all? Allie has also allegedly argued with her doctors and nurses over trying to be induced early, which inducing somebody to have a premature baby is only done if there is an emergency either with the mother or the child, because having a premature baby could have a lot of risks for complications, some being life-threatening. On multiple occasions, Allie asked her nurses if they knew whether or not raspberry leaf tea could induce labor, to which they seemed uncertain by.
By chance ask about that raspberry leaf tea, if that can cause induction in labor?
No, I never.
Are you
look it up? I never had a chance.
Yeah. Are you able to maybe, I don't know, ask the doctor if he's out there? Have you heard of raspberry leaf tea?
I have. I love tea, but I'm not a fruity tea person.
Do you know if that can induce labor? No?
I've never had that.
You've never heard that?
Why, did you take some?
Well, only 2, like I did 2 tea bags of it.
Oh, I'd have to Google it. I've never heard of that.
Okay.
In my opinion, that alone shows that even if raspberry leaf tea wasn't the contributor to her having a premature baby, she likely had the intention to do it. I'm not here to connect the dots, I'm here to just point them out to you. Especially when Allie discusses how she unexpectedly went into labor, oddly enough having to emphasize on how unexpected it was.
We're like, why'd you go into labor so early? I don't know, like it just happens. The doctors can't explain it. I can't explain. Like nobody can explain it. It just sometimes happens. TMI. But I even was like, "Do you think X started it?" And she said, she even said no to that.
Again, she made a joke about breaking your water with raspberry leaf tea, while then going on to say she has no idea why she had her baby so early. I'm not here to connect the dots, I'm here to just point them out to you. Some other interesting things involve Allie's strange fixation on wanting her car to be detailed before bringing the baby home.
I really want to get my car detailed before I take her home, guys. Like, why am I getting so stressed about that? Crazy. But I'm like literally so stressed about it.
You are about to have a child and you are worried about the detailing of your car? I don't know, most people are focused on the nursery, making sure that they have all the things they need to take to the hospital, making sure that they're having a safe and healthy delivery. On one hand, I'm baffled, but then on the other hand, I am not shocked at all. Even after her delivery, Allie's priorities continued to spiral. Just how she went live right after the times she attempted to conceive, she went live right after giving birth. Her excuse was that she was just sitting in the hospital without anything to do because her baby had to go into the NICU due to being premature.
And you're on live right now? What else do you want me to do? I can't even go see her right now. Because I'm recovering right now, so she's in the NICU. So yeah, I'm on live. The update could have waited. I can't leave my bed right now. Don't make something out of nothing. I literally just pushed a baby out of my bed. And they gave me pain medication for afterwards, so...
How as a brand new mom are you completely unbothered by your premature baby going in the NICU, which is, for those of you who don't know, an intensive care unit for infants? And if you don't know what intensive care means, it's basically a unit that is reserved for some of the hospital's most serious situations. Newborns, infants, are very, very fragile. So this should be something that is concerning, but she does not seem to be concerned at all. She very obviously seems more concerned about live streaming. If it wasn't obvious before, it definitely is now to me that she does not seem to care about this baby, at least not in a way that a parent should be caring about their baby, considering all of the things going on and the complications and the risks with her premature baby. This baby is hooked up to a lot of things. She has cords, oxygen. They don't just put that on you for fun. No, they're on there for very serious reasons. And to be unplugging your baby's oxygen, I believe, I want to say it's foolish, but it's so much worse than that. I don't think any level of foolishness could really be an excuse for how devastating this could be. And that brings us to where we started off in the beginning of this video.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna have to get me a turkey sandwich. I'm starving. But I did breastfeeding and pump, so that's probably why too. Well, so they keep turkey sandwiches actually in the fridge out here. I just don't want to put her up. She'll get upset. I like staying in her mom's arms. I actually could do this. Look at that. Hello, where you at? Do this.
First of all, this could cause so many risks to the newborn's health. Again, I believe this is an oxygen monitor. I've heard some people call it a heart monitor, others call it an oxygen monitor. She herself mentioned the baby's oxygen before, talking about how she seems to just stop breathing at points.
She does have moments where she'll forget to breathe, but when I was there yesterday, it was like when her oxygen would drop, it would, for one, it goes like pretty much right back up, and for two, it's when she's like stretching, and like me, I hold my breath when I stretch, so I'm like, I think that's what like she's doing, you know? Sometimes she just forgets to breathe.
I really don't like this video clip because it parts. She smirks, and she does that a lot at inappropriate times, and it just comes off as evil in my opinion, but that's maybe an over-exaggeration because I'm frustrated with watching this. It just is unsettling.
There's sometimes where she'll like forget to breathe, but so they have her back on the oxygen for that reason.
This monitor is obviously attached for a reason, and having it be unattached so that the mother can get a turkey sandwich while nurses are running around in an intensive care unit, they are stopped because they think that something happened to the baby's breathing or the baby's heart. They run in, they only find a mother who is sitting there wanting a turkey sandwich because she doesn't want to move her baby because she doesn't want the baby to cry.
No, you're fine. It's not an emergency. Oh. I just was gonna see if you could bring me a turkey sandwich. They have them in the nourishment right there.
Do you want to like go take a break and then come back?
I could. It's just I put her in there and she got really upset.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Well, she has about another hour till she eats. We could bundle her and take a break.
I have some really scary, sad news for you. Babies cry a lot. It's kind of what they do. They cry. If you think that that's an inconvenience for you, maybe you shouldn't have had one. One moment is all it takes for something to go wrong, and if the proper equipment is unplugged during that moment, it could have catastrophic consequences for her child. One thing that I do want to clarify here for any confusion is that oxygen monitors and heart monitors are not devices that provide additional oxygen or heart support. They are, as in the name, something that monitors the functionality of your oxygen and your heart. In this particular case, I'm fairly certain at this point that it's the oxygen monitor that she unplugged, and I want to make it clear that by unplugging the oxygen monitor, you're not taking oxygen away from the baby. There seemed to be a little bit of confusion in the comments about that, but it is still a very serious and risky thing to do because that monitor was not just put on the baby for any reason. She herself admitted that her baby forgets to breathe sometimes. So it is important to be monitoring the baby's breathing, and without the monitor, they can't tell if the baby's breathing correctly. And even for just a few moments, if that baby is not breathing properly, problems could start, especially since it's a premature newborn infant. And listen, don't take my word for it. I've decided to go back and add in some clips from other healthcare professionals weighing in their opinions on this situation.
Aside from the audacity of her recording the whole thing, she put her own premature baby in danger by doing that, since apneic episodes where babies stop breathing can happen very suddenly in premature ones, and she would have distracted those nurses from the others on the unit.
Allie, when you were unplugging that for your turkey sandwich, did it cross your mind that you were removing those healthcare providers from babies who might actually need intervention? Did it cross your mind that your baby was being monitored for life-threatening conditions that now that monitor's unplugged, that the healthcare providers would be unaware of, that you're putting your baby's life at risk and others?
Now look, I'm a bedside hospital nurse, and I'm telling you with 100% confidence, there's absolutely no way in hell any nurse told her to unplug one of the baby's monitors. Even if the baby wasn't in intensive care, a nurse would never say that to anybody. And hello, every room has a call light. And one of the things we're supposed to do before we leave the room is make sure the patient, or in this case the mother, has that light.
I can't get my own drink when I'm holding her. And now I'm gonna have to stir her up because y'all wanna cry about something.
If you're so concerned about a drink, maybe you should have made sure to have it with you before you sat in that chair. I don't know where she's located or what hospital this was at, but if you work in that NICU, please report this mother, because she's already showing negligent and careless behavior. So if she's going to act like that while the baby is still in the hospital, God only knows how it's going to be at home.
I'll leave their full videos linked in the description below. Speaking of safety, being the victim of a very serious injury may not just be a painful experience, but a very stressful one. The National Safety Council reported that in the year of 2021, over 36,000 car accidents would happen in the United States every single day. And in many cases, people who have gotten in accidents had to deal with the headache of trying to navigate the cost of their injuries. Things could be much more simple though by becoming a client of Morgan & Morgan. If you've ever gotten into an accident, your injury could potentially be worth millions. When dealing with cases, Morgan & Morgan doesn't just settle for lowball offers. Morgan & Morgan has achieved significant verdicts for victims with life-altering injuries. This includes over $12 million in Florida being 34 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philly, which is 40 times the highest insurance offer. Being America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan has over 1,000 lawyers working across all 50 states. And the best part is, you don't have to pay any fees unless you win your case. That's right, that means no expensive upfront charges coming out of your pocket. Like I've said, if you've ever gotten seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions, and you're just a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. You could start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/Mimi, and you can also find my link in the description below. Thank you so much to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring another video on my channel, and with that being said, let's get back into today's topic. This does still get worse. She did this multiple times.
We'll do it right now. Tangled up, girl. I'm literally tangled. Let's wait for it. Because I do need my drinks. You know, if I need something. What is she gonna do? Unplug this herself? What the hell?
well, I'm not doing it just to prove it by getting me my drinks over there, and I can't walk over there because she's hooked up.
She turned all of this into a joke when she realized that people were very unhappy with this video. Actually, these videos, because again, she had done this multiple times.
I know. Would you all be less triggered if it was PB&J? 2025, the year where turkey sandwiches trigger a lot of people on TikTok. Welcome to it.
Allie even took time to brag about how many views on TikTok her unplugging the monitor gained, gloating about how all of this hate will just make her famous.
The video is going hella viral. 500,000 views. 500,000 views. Let me tell you, them hospital turkey sandwiches, it hits different. What? Where? Who's posting about me? Who's posting about me, guys? Tell me who. Look. It's my iPad. Who is it?
She also tried to claim that she was instructed to do this.
They made it up. I didn't say they made that up. I guess if you need something, they tell you to unplug this.
Call button? You want me to install my own call button? How would I do that? Who do I call for that?
I'm sorry. At this point, I can't help but laugh. I was told by the nurse that if I needed anything, to just unplug the little pulse ox. She's perfectly stable, perfectly healthy. She's not on oxygen. She's breathing perfectly fine.
There's sometimes where she'll like forget to breathe, but so they have her back on the oxygen for that reason.
I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, but I've seen people in the hospital many times, and never in my entire life, never are you told to rip out a cord to get somebody's attention. You are usually given a button to press. I do not believe her when she said that they instructed her to do that, especially when you hear this nurse's reaction.
I'm gonna see if you could bring me a turkey sandwich.
It's obvious that she was trying to farm rage bait by mistreating her baby from the days before she was even born. In a circumstance like this, it would probably be best to ignore somebody like this and not give extra attention with a video, but the reason why I find it an exception in this specific case is because Allie's plan didn't turn out well for her. Shortly after this TikTok went viral, she deleted her account. I can't imagine why. There are also some rumors that CPS was involved, or at least contacted. Another TikToker uploaded a video discussing this and some other details about Allie, including a previous arrest.
I have an update thanks to a bunch of you that gave me a ton of information, and I couldn't have done it without you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Alexandra. I was able to track down the hospital. I started in Canada because that was what was tagged in the video. My mistake. It was actually Texas. I got in touch with the hospital and actually got in touch with CPS. There is an active case being investigated. When I called the hospital, they said that they are on it. So they are going to be working with CPS to get this resolved.
Many people have also pointed out their concerns with Allie's substance use and her inconsistencies describing what substances she was using or wasn't using during her pregnancy, and there does seem to be a lot of conflicting information on that she gives herself. I don't know what was and wasn't prescribed to her and what she may or may not have been taking legally or illegally. All I can say with confidence is that this caused a lot of concern with her audience. As of right now, and at the time of recording, Allie Ray has not returned to TikTok or social media to my knowledge. There haven't been as many updates on Allie Ray over the past few days to about a week since I started this video, and I am unaware of any updates to any potential CPS investigation. So like I mentioned, I do have some updates regarding Nurse Hannah and the resilient Jenkins. I'm going to start with Nurse Hannah first. So if you haven't seen my previous video on Nurse Hannah and want a quick recap, she has gone viral on TikTok over the past few months for having a very privileged and seemingly wealthy lifestyle while complaining about spending money on her child. And I'm not talking about games and toys and stuff like that. I'm talking about basic bare minimum necessities like diapers, food, and a jacket. She talks about how diapers are way too expensive for her to change them every time her child pees and waits for them to be very full or until he poops to change them.
I'm not changing my kid's diaper when they pee. I've never done that. Do you know how expensive diapers are? I have friends and people that I know that like, oh, they peed, we have to change their diaper. And I'm like, they peed? Literally, I will change his diaper if he poops. Or if it's like a very full diaper.
Yesterday, I moved my couch in my living room just a little bit so I can work out in the living room yesterday. And I found this diaper rolled up under the couch. That diaper has been living under my couch in my living room for probably 6 weeks now.
And she also made a really big deal about getting her child a $35 jacket, talking about how it was too expensive, all the while showing off certain luxuries she has throughout her videos. If you would like to know more information, again, I'll have my video linked in the description below, but after this all happened, she had received a lot of backlash for the way that she was treating her child, and she had disappeared from the internet for a little bit. After I had made that video, she had gone on a hiatus for a little while, and it seems that she had returned on New Year's Day, unironically writing "New Year, New Me." This did seem to upset a lot of people, and you could tell that due to her view to comment ratio. There's only about 12 comments under this video when it had millions of views, which statistically points into a direction of her manually approving comments, meaning anybody that leaves a nasty comment or a critical comment likely isn't going to have it published under her video. She returned to making TikToks as normal, doing a lot more get ready with me's, yoga videos, and lifestyle videos, but there does seem to be one change, which is her children don't seem to be in the videos as much. One change that I did notice is that even when her children are in the videos, it seems like she does a better job at not showing their faces, which generally is one of the bigger criticisms for family vloggers in general. With her, it wasn't the biggest criticism because the bigger concern was the way she treated her children, but now it seems like when her children are in the videos, they're censored out and they're very happy and she seems really excited and very different from the person that we were discussing over a month ago. I genuinely hope that this is a legitimate personality change and that this isn't something that is being played up for the camera. She's also been promoting her YouTube channel, especially as the beginning of January happened, but to my knowledge, she has not addressed any of these issues over there either. What does give me the vibe that maybe some things didn't necessarily change is that she made another video talking about her tithing. To break it down for you, in case you didn't see my previous video or in case you forgot what it means, she's a part of the Mormon church and she pays into the Mormon church, which is fine. That's something that a lot of people do. It's called tithing. It is totally fine if you have a religion and you practice your religious beliefs however you want to do. Of course, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But the thing is, Nurse Hannah has received a lot of criticism for her talking about tithing. She's trying to frame it like she's being attacked for being a Christian or paying money into her church, on top of not addressing the elephant in the room after making her return to social media.
Now, I feel like on social media lately, Christianity is kind of a hot topic right now.
The issue that 99% of her audience had wasn't that she put money into her church through something called tithing. The issue that people had was that she would constantly complain about the pricing of things for her kids. She made a really big deal out of getting her child a $35 jacket and pushed him around in a cart with no coat on, no hat, no gloves, and the weather was below freezing. There are several videos of her and her husband eating takeout while she's simultaneously complaining about the pricing of things, especially when it involves her children. Do you know it's probably more than $35, that soda machine that she has in her house?
When my paycheck comes in, I look at it and immediately before I pay any bills, before I spend anything, before I do anything with it, I say, okay, 10% to tithing. Say my check is $2,500. Okay, $250 going to tithing.
Again, that's fine, but if you're putting $250 into tithing, why can't you put $35 into getting your kid a jacket? That's the whole point.
At the end of the day, I'd rather be left in the negatives than not pay my tithing.
I go into so much more detail in my previous video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below, but I find it absolutely wild and infuriating that she has not made any effort whatsoever to address any of the controversies that people have brought up over the past few months on her TikTok account, and has returned to TikTok sharing these get ready with me's, talking about the good news in her life, showing this more positive and happy vibe, which is a good thing. And again, I genuinely hope that that is a complete 180 shift in her personality and not just being played up for the camera. But when she talks about the tithing thing, she tries to frame it like she was being attacked for expressing her religious beliefs.
But every single budget video that I make on here, I always get so many comments like, ew, why do you pay tithing? Or you would have way more money if you didn't pay tithing. And I disagree, actually. I 100% believe that I have my job because I pay tithing.
No, you were being criticized for spending egregious amounts of money on other things before taking care of your children and prioritizing other things over your children and treating your children like they're a burden to you and subhuman when you were the one that decided to have them. So the, in my opinion, valid criticisms of you being irresponsible and selfish in many ways, and sometimes even being cruel to your children, which by the way, up to this point has not been addressed on her TikTok account, has nothing to do with with her expressing her religious beliefs. She's just using that as an excuse to deflect criticism. She ends that TikTok video discussing how money makes people greedy.
Money makes people really greedy. Money is a very evil thing in this world. Money is so evil. The more money that we have, the greedier that we are, the more we want.
What an ironic statement for someone like her to make. I'm gonna leave that there. Let's discuss the resilient Jenkins, because there's some updates with them as well. There's a lot more that I want to discuss regarding the resilient Jenkins family. Again, I've made a previous video discussing this family. Similar to the nurse Hannah situation, they lack a lot of skills in prioritizing things, like their children. Stephanie and Drew currently live in a 1-bedroom apartment and now have 5 children. She just had a baby on January 24th, and as I've mentioned in my previous video, they've both received a lot of criticism for talking down on W-2 jobs, letting their children sleep on the floor and in very unhygienic conditions, and not giving them the bed, having them sleeping on the floor in the living room and the kitchen, which can be unsafe for several different reasons. What was once 6 people living in a 1-bedroom apartment at the time of recording my previous video is now 7 people. On January 26th, the resilient Jenkins uploaded a TikTok talking about the birth of the baby. Stephanie goes into how she wanted to try and have a natural birth and that she went into labor and tried to stay in labor for the majority of the time at home and ended up giving birth to her baby in the car. Now here's the thing, as I've heard from stories of family members and friends, after having your first child, sometimes your body pushes babies out a lot faster. And this isn't all the time, this isn't a guarantee, this is just something that could happen. Sometimes your second, third, or fourth child may come out quicker than your first child, and then sometimes it won't. But delivering babies in cars has not been unheard of because sometimes labor can happen really fast. One of my family members almost had a car delivery, but she got to the hospital just in time, but it happened really fast and it was like her 3rd or 4th kid. In this case, however, it seems like Stephanie intentionally waited to go to the hospital. She literally says it in this TikTok.
Our beautiful baby girl is here and she made her memorable entrance in the car, just minutes away from the hospital. I knew going into labor I wanted to do things as natural as possible. I wanted to stay home for as much of the labor as I could. And that's exactly what ended up happening. We headed to the hospital. Didn't quite make it there when she was born in the car.
On top of that, she says that she only spent about 8 hours in the hospital because her other kids needed her at home.
I really didn't want to spend very much time at the hospital. I wanted to get home to my other kiddos, especially my toddler. I haven't spent any time away from him, so being away from him at night would just be weird. But I did spend I think 8 hours in the hospital and then went back home that same night.
And then you see her bringing the baby home, and shortly after, the father is right back on the video games, which in any other circumstance would be kinda cute. Like, all dad loves video games and he wants to kind of make that a moment with his newborn child. That's not the vibe I'm getting here. In fact, there are quite a few times that she was cleaning in her 3rd trimester that left a lot of her audience extremely concerned and wondering where Drew was, not because he's a man and has to do everything around the house, but because she was heavily pregnant and could be inhaling fumes from chemicals she's cleaning with that might not be good for the baby. And also, doing a lot of that activity while pregnant could be extremely exhausting. And you could tell that the comments left under her videos started getting to her when she started making videos like this.
Yesterday I posted a video of me cleaning the fan above my stove, and the amount of comments I received that's like, why isn't Drew doing this? Why are you doing this? I gotta say, it baffles me a little bit. It lacks the mindset that women are capable of just about anything that a man can do too. See, I'm not the type to just sit around and wait for my man to do everything for me. And that may be partially because I grew up with 4 very competitive brothers, and I had a tomboy side to myself, so I wasn't about to let them ever one up me. And I'm not sure if it was a protective thing or a competitive thing, but all my brothers would constantly push me to achieve more and be the best version of myself. My sister as well. That being said, I wait around for nobody when I want something. And you can call it neglectful, but I call it just a busy mama. Some things are just not as easy to keep up on as you would think. And there's gonna be days that I want to just sit back and not spend the time cleaning. Yeah, believe it or not, I just said that. When I actually interact with my kids, play board games, do some reading, spend individual time with each kid, spend time outside, do something other than just cleaning all day. Because depending on the day and how much deep cleaning I'm trying to get done, I'm spending a good 50 to 70% of my day cleaning every day. Now, I do think that would be a lot better in a bigger space when we can have everybody's stuff a little more spread out. Stuff definitely gets a little bit cluttered a little faster in a small space. And I try my best to keep up on the clutter, so I'm doing just general cleanup at least 3 times a day. Contrary to what people believe in my comments, we're actually incredibly grateful for the small space that we have. Looking forward to our growth.
In an effort for some type of gotcha or in a way to defend her husband even further, she tried to trick her audience into thinking that there was some problem going on in their relationship, where she later talked about how this was some sort of experiment. She wrote, "So I was really trying something strategic with this post. I will make a follow-up post tomorrow, but please try to understand that the caption was merely a rage bait to show how easily people judge." Admitting to rage baiting is wild, especially when you take into account the fact that she posted this video a day before making that comment, leading people to believe this for a full day before she clarified anything. She made a follow-up comment a day after that video was made, along with another video. I'm going to go over the comment first. "Please evaluate why you follow us. We're here to build a community of peaceful support and kindness. I appreciate those of you who reached out with genuine concern, but this is a happy blended family over here. As far as why I was crying, I literally just had a baby and these postpartum hormones are no joke. Yeah, you did just have a baby, so why aren't you relaxing and recovering? Where's your boyfriend?"
This post was a strategic post on my part. Recently, I've been having a lot of couples pop up in my algorithm that have these like quote-unquote couple issues going on, and I can tell it's like staged on their part. And I don't mean to be judgmental, but what I noticed was within their algorithm, their views spiked tremendously, and they get a lot more followers than that. And
So you're essentially lying to your audience, clickbaiting and rage baiting a potential problem that didn't actually happen to get more views to compete with the other family vloggers you see. Got it.
I feel like it was because the general population of those new followers are people that are like, okay, I want to watch this couple fall apart.
A lot of people do follow them just to see what happens because they are concerned, and also some people are outraged and dislike them because of the way that they prioritize things over their children and their children's lifestyle.
For the past 3 years, all I've put forward and all I've said about my man is that he's an amazing father. He's a very supportive partner, and I've spoke nothing different. But the one post that I put up saying anything that would contradict that, putting a bad rep on my man, blows up like that. I mean, this is the most views I've had on a video in a while. Definitely the most likes I've had. And then I got all these people in the comments like, "Oh, I knew this all along." What did you know? Because I haven't said anything about my man negatively.
Actually, she has complained about him before, and shortly after making a video complaining about him, she backtracked.
I don't generally like to be the girl that's like over emotional, but I feel like relatable material is just hard to find these days. Everyone is like Hollywood in their living room, super edited. So every now and again I try to put something out here that's a little bit relatable, hopefully. The bathroom is definitely where I have the best lighting, but I could hear my neighbor turning on his shower and that just got weird. Either way, I just wanted to say, like, to me, raising daughters when I have zero confidence is freaking hard. I'm trying to raise daughters who have confidence, who believe they're beautiful, who know they're smart, who, you know, want to rock whatever outfit they want and have confidence to go out the house. And anxiety doesn't keep them in the house. That is so hard when I am zero confidence and have anxiety that just rules my world. And I mean, I love my partner and I don't want to say nothing negative about him, but it wouldn't hurt him to say he has appreciation for me every now and again, to tell me that he finds me attractive, but that just seems like it's vinegar on his tongue or something. So I gotta know, like, is there other women who can relate to this? Like, does your man not ever tell you you're attractive and you just kind of like have to assume he's still attracted to you? I mean, like I said with the whole editing and everything, I feel like women write the script for their men because... And I mean, I know we're tired, we got kids, we have a life, but isn't like in our 30s a little bit young to just barely have a sex life? Like, something's off, yo.
And this is the video of her backpedaling.
Alright, so this comment says, or be with one who doesn't show my daughters how a real man should treat a woman because they will settle for less like we did. Always trust your intuition. I felt like this comment was the best one to respond to because it really kind of summed up what I was talking about in that video. Basically, I'm saying it's hard to raise daughters when you don't have confidence, and it's especially hard when it seems like you have a partner that doesn't know how to like kind of assist you in that like self-confidence issue because he's just not verbally expressive about how he feels about you. And I don't even need to fault my man for that because, you know,
everybody's different. Everybody expresses how they feel about somebody a different way. And he does a lot for his family. He does a lot for me. So I never meant to give that impression that he doesn't show how he appreciates us in his own way. It's just for me, I'm a very verbal person, and I voice how I feel about people verbally. I tell you, you know, I appreciate you, you're beautiful, you're awesome, and that's just not how my man is. Because I haven't said anything about my man negatively.
She then goes on in this video to talk about how this video got more likes than she's had in a long time, has gotten a lot more views and engagement, which of course, because people were concerned that something was happening. And in a weird way, while she thinks she's trying to prove a point, what she's really doing is just making herself look obnoxious, looking like she's proud of herself for making people worried about her. She then denies rage baiting people after openly admitting that she was purposefully rage baiting people.
Now I know the first thought is to be like, oh, so she did a rage bait? No, actually what I did this for was to see how many people are following us, waiting for our downfall.
Can someone explain to me how you can fall from rock bottom?
Waiting to find out, oh, Drew's just that bum piece of crap that everybody keeps saying he is. That's not the case. That's not what we're going to put forward. We are who we put forward. That's just how it is. And like I said, this talking stuff is awkward as frick for me.
I'm gonna break away from this for a second because I want to emphasize the comments of people calling her man a bum. Anytime you see the newborn with him, he is playing his PlayStation 5 with the newborn on his lap. Just days into being postpartum, Stephanie is back to cleaning the house, cooking and everything, where he is nowhere to be found, and when he does pop up for just a few seconds, he's doing the bare minimum. She made her own birthday cake for her 30th birthday.
Yummy.
She talks about never having alone time, not even when going to the bathroom. Meanwhile, it seems like he gets plenty of alone time playing his PlayStation 5, and even when he's out with the family, he's still talking to his friends through his headset.
Okay, you really know.
You know what I'm saying?
He couldn't even take the headset off for her birthday. In fact, plenty of people have already commented under their videos that he never takes off his headset, and a lot of people even claim that he is very busy working his 9 to PS5. A lot of people have also realized that they are still falling in the old habits of not treating their children with the highest priorities, including hygiene. For example, that bed that I've discussed in my previous video that is basically not even a real mattress but a foam pad that's on the ground that looks like it's in an actual bed frame but isn't, it's just on the ground. She left her newborn baby on that at one point. It's the same video where she was talking about not having enough alone time, and on top of that, there's another video where she's cooking, and in the background, because that same bed set is in their kitchen because they don't have room for it anywhere else, it's not like they could put it in the bedroom or anything. In the background, you could see a full trash bag leaning up against it. You couldn't have put it up against a wall somewhere or even by the front door leaning up against it like that. You had to put it right next to your child's bed, which, to remind you, is still in the kitchen, and their mattress is still technically on the floor and isn't even a real mattress, it's just a foam pad. And she wants 3 more kids, by the way. This last baby she had was planned. She wants 3 more of them. Where are they going to go? Actually, that's a really good question. Where are any of them going to go? Because apparently some followers did some digging and found out that they are supposedly getting evicted, or they at least got an eviction notice. And according to someone TikTok, there has actually been a very recent update of the hearing taking place, and allegedly they have until March to get out of the apartment. And listen, I don't want to hear about anybody getting evicted. That is a very sad and serious situation. I don't wish that upon anybody. What I honestly want from this family is to see them live in a better environment, and I would also like to see the parents take this situation seriously, because the biggest concern is they don't seem to be taking it seriously. They don't seem to have well thought out priorities, at least not from what we see on TikTok, and there seems to be a lot of uncertainty right now with their future, and this is a really, really sad situation for their children to be in. One thing that I will say that is different from most of the other family vloggers that I've discussed is when I see this family, I don't get the vibe that they hate their children or that they're trying to be malicious towards their kids. The way that they interact with their kids, at least from what we can see publicly, you can tell that they do love them, but sometimes, and this is really sad to say, love isn't enough to keep them safe, protected, and clean, and no matter how much they love their kids, they're still not making the best decisions, and they're not prioritizing the right things to give their children the best life, and I really really hope that that changes and that they are able to do better. Genuinely, I do hope that things get better for them and that they are able to turn this around and have a better life for the entire family. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's the best outcome that anybody could wish for in this situation. For the children, I genuinely hope that things get better. And there was one TikToker out there that tried to blame people sharing concerns being the reason why they're getting evicted. I'm not 100% sure if the reason why they have gotten evicted has been publicized or confirmed, but in a situation where maybe they're getting evicted because they have been reported to the person that owns the apartment that there's more people living there than should be legally, then it would be really foolish to record and upload videos of yourself with all of your kids living in that one-bedroom apartment, knowing that the amount of people living in that apartment could be risking their eviction. What I do know is that people shouldn't be blaming those who are concerned about this situation. They should be putting the accountability onto Stephanie and Drew for making all of these decisions that led them to this spot. But yeah, it seems like a lot of things are still happening with the resilient Jenkins and none of them are good. I feel really, really bad for their kids. I want to feel bad for Stephanie, but at the same time, she is actively planning on having more children and feels a constant need to defend Drew, who at least on camera shows very little bare minimum effort, not only in this relationship, but in the previous one he had, which I have covered in my previous video if you haven't seen it already. So yeah, that's where we're ending today's video. I did have one more thing that I added into my original video that I had to shorten in this video, but basically I do have a lot of feelings about all of the things happening right now, and it seems like every single day for the past 2 weeks we've been in an information overload with terrible thing happening after terrible thing happening after terrible thing. It feels like you can't even express concern about certain things without some people getting up in arms and just getting so aggressive and nasty. Things are obviously very much not okay, and I'm angry that I can't be more specific about that, but I do hope at the very least you are doing okay, even when a lot of things right now aren't. And by that I know I'm being vague, but I mean in the world. In my personal life, things are going pretty okay actually. I have a few health things going on, but other than that, things are currently going okay. Like I've said in my previous video, the horrors may persist, but so shall you. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so very, very much, and thank you so much to everybody who has been supporting me over on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. Please also make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications on if you enjoy my content, because that way you're notified as soon as I upload another video. Thank you for listening to me complain for a few minutes there. With that being said, I will see you in the next video where hopefully things aren't as dark on YouTube or in the world. My hopes are slowly dying, but there is still hope there. So yeah, see you later.